acting a little goofy, so bear with me on that. So we're just gonna go right back kind of into it again. So I know that everything's out for Street Fighter 4. Everyone knows all the tech. Everyone kind of knows everything. But a character that I think that people really kind of stepped on or kind of didn't really go into too much was Sagat. And if you also take a look at high level play, there is also some things that I noticed that top level players weren't using as often as they should, and there's also kind of a lot of interesting tech to Sagat at a high level that if was used properly he would have a lot of damage, but it was very difficult to do that. So the first thing I want to explore with him and show you guys is some things that he can get off of counter hit that you may or may not be aware of. So the first thing was, most people know for his step kick it goes into the Karas. You can do like Kara Tiger knees, Kara Tiger shots, and Kara Tiger uppercuts. But the step kick is also really good for comboing into a crouching light off of counter hit. And you could also combo into Tiger knees from that. Or that. And you can get full hit, full damage and both hits off of the heavy Tiger knee, which is what you want to go for. So if we took a look at the damage of the Tiger knees, I'm not going to go through them all, actually it's going to waste time. Is the heavy does the most damage, medium does the medium, and light does the light. Simple stuff, pretty basic formula for Street Fighter 4. But what's really interesting about Sagat's Tiger knee is some of the normals that he uses to cancel it from will give you the full both hit for the animation off of the heavy, and some of them will not. So for example, if I do a crouching light punch from far out, that will work for most cases. So at most ranges the crouching light will work and you'll get your full animation hit. From further out you'll only get the one hit, but from this link there, that will give you the what do you call it, the full thing. So as you saw before there, I was able to do the crouching light after that right there. That's actually a 1 frame link, but on counter hit it's a little easier, and then he can go into Tiger uppercut or whatever from that. So another thing to note with Tiger uppercuts is I believe all of them are completely consistent, but what's interesting about Sagat is that if he uses the EX in comparison to I think every other Shoto in the game, so that's Ryu, that's Ken, that's Dan, that's Oni, whatever. Maybe Oni might be different, but he gets the most benefit, the most gain from using the EX bar. So what I mean by that is, so he gets, on the heavy version he gets 120, and that's all across the board. He gets an additional 80 damage and I believe an extra 30 stun, which is more of a boost than any other character in the game does with an uppercut. So using Sagat's EX Tiger uppercut is actually extremely useful. But on the other hand, using his EX Tiger knee is more beneficial for combo enders if you don't have Ultra, and I'm going to get into that next. So I'm talking theoretically the best thing to do is here, it will guarantee you those full hits even though it was further away, but the damage will be a little bit lighter. But if he actually, I think that just hits from all ranges right there. So you will get that guarantee through that whole thing, which is amazing. And then the heavy version does the 160. So using his EX Tiger knee for combo enders is really useful, and it's actually more useful I believe than his EX Tiger uppercut. So the EX Tiger uppercut does 200, 230. Yeah, actually it does 180, 200. So in most cases it's going to be beneficial for you to use the EX Tiger uppercut. It's very, very good because it actually goes into his Ultra 1 anywhere on the screen. Now most people already know that. They are very fully aware. That's no news to anyone. But what's very interesting about it is the damage that he can get if you can consistently pull it off, even though it's extremely difficult to do. I believe it's a 1 or 2 frame link, and it's not plinkable because it's not a link. You're not linking moves together. You have to time it, and you have to see it, and you have to know the timing, which is very, very difficult to do. Most people will opt for the FADZ option and go for the step kick and then go into the ultra from that. But one other thing I do want to go over is, so I wanted to start to cover the Tiger Knee. So from his basic confirm, most people, if you watch Bonchan, if you watch people play, if you watch Mago play, most of the time they did this. So they did 168, 280, right? From the 2 crouching lights into the crouching jab, into the Tiger uppercut. So that was, if you watch footage and you go back, Ultra Street Fighter 4's lifespan, that's what people were doing. But in actuality, you want to do the heavy Tiger Knee. So that was, let's see. That will gain more damage. I can do it here. So that does the woo. It might be actually character specific. Learning, see guys, always learning, always learning. So some characters you'll get the full both hit animation. Maybe it could be crouching. Let's see if we can put him on crouch. See if that'll do anything. See, there we go. See, now I did the 2 lights. And then I did the 196, 280. Now if I do the 2 lights and then the uppercut, 168, 280. So Sagat presents the problem of knowing if the characters are crouching or standing, what your best options are. Similar to Ibuki with doing standing light punches, whiffing on crouching characters. That's also something you'll see too. Another thing to note about Sagat, and is really interesting, is if you do the standing medium punch on certain characters, the close range, if you do the Tiger Knee, the second hit will not hit. You'll only get the second hit to hit. Let's see if it works when they're standing. So on some of the characters, I believe it was like Makoto, the second hit of the Tiger Knee will not, the first hit of the Tiger Knee will not hit and only go to the second hit, giving you less damage. So some characters you'll have to opt for the standing heavy punch. I mean the heavy punch Shoryuken, or you go into the beloved EX. Let's see, I might have gotten that. Oh, yeah, I got it. So you have to go for that. Now keep in mind that's a double ultra. That's where Sagat's stupidity really comes in, is that if you can land that, he can get the 550 or that crazy damage we used to get in vanilla. Another things to go over, just very basic simple stuff, is he has the Ryu combo mid-screen if he does Ultra 2. If he's full screen, as I mentioned earlier, you can easily react to and get Ultra 2 full screen in Projectile Wars. In the corner, any basic confirmed EX projectile will get you either Ultra. So that's really good. I don't see that being used a lot, or Sagat's really fishing for it when I play them. Most of them are trying to do something like this, you know, do the step kick and go to Ultra, whatever. I don't see it being used too much. Another thing I want to go over, trying to go through this quick guys, is counter hit stuff. So we went through before that you can do this and then do you know, like things like that. And one other thing he can do is his crouching fierce. You can do into stuff too. So you can do, oh, I didn't do that, sorry. I'm missing it, but on counter hit for standing fierce and crouching fierce, he can go into standing far standing light kick. So you can do stuff like that. Tiger knee, and just saying as you do it. Crouching medium punch goes into crouching medium punch. You can do stuff like this. If I could do it. I'm free. I got it now. I swear I got it. I don't know why I'm not doing it. Wow, I'm free. I'm sorry about that, guys. Okay, so you can do all kinds of fun stuff like that too. Always, we know the standing, the first hit of the standing heavy kick actually combos on meaty on some characters. So I mentioned before that the standing medium punch will not hit fully. See that crap? It's very, very strange. Sometimes it will cancel and sometimes it won't. It's all dependent on the range and if the character is crouching or standing, and knowing that what is going to happen. Obviously the basic ultra stuff is this, and then doing a step kick and then going into your ultra. Another thing that he has is FADC combos, so you can do stuff like that. Most people will do, you know, their combo, and then you can FADC the first hit of the Tiger Knee. Although most cases in that scenario, you want to just do it from the Tiger Shot because you have more time to do that. If the character is standing, you want to FADC from the heavy Tiger Shot because that gives you more damage. So that one, if you see from the counter hit on the heavy, it does 81, and then the crouching one does 75. So if I do a combo, you want to FADC from the heavy, the top. The punch Tiger Shot, because that'll give you more damage if they're standing, and then you want to be aware if they are crouching, because that will give you 5 or 6 less more damage. So that's another thing that you want to pay attention to when you do play him. If you do FADC stuff and you don't have ultra, you can go into Tiger Knee. Although Adon is fucking super weird. Maybe because it's counterfeit. That is so weird, Adon. Why are you such a weird character? There we go. I knew that worked. I knew you could do the EX one. Sorry. So that works as well, and then we know it works with the Ultra 2 as well. So that's it, guys. That's just some pretty basic stuff and some things that I've learned with Sagat. Just be more aware of his counter hits and be aware of using the EX Tiger Uppercut more, because it gives you more bang for your buck. So if you have 120, 200 and you're just trying to anti-air, why not go for that? Because meter isn't really that important to Sagat, other than if he's going to be FADCing, which his FADCs are mostly for if he's going to be using Ultra. So you really don't need to do much with his meter other than that. So save it for your EX Tiger Uppercuts, in my opinion. I believe that's kind of more worth for that. And then if you're really feeling good about yourself, learn this. Wow, I'm pretty good at it today. At least I'm doing something consistently for you guys. At least I'm getting one of the most difficult things in the game to consistently land. So make sure you guys check that out. In terms of, let me go over some other normals and stuff like that. His close standing medium kick isn't really that good. You're better off using either the crouching medium or the standing medium punch. The standing light kick, only the first hit of the two will combo after, will cancel. It doesn't like vanilla where you could cancel the second one. So there's really not much of use to this, other than I like to use it to people get off, or if it's far range punishes and I want to do something like that and Sagat's kind of far away from them. His standing jab is okay, not really that great. His crouching normals are a little better. So you do stuff like that and do whatever he wants from that. Just remember in the corner that you can cancel into EX stuff, and you can do more from that stuff in the corner. And try to use your EX meter a little bit more for the Tiger Uppercuts, as I stated, and be aware of those counter hit setups from those buttons, and that could be used to elevate your Sagat game. That's pretty much all I have on Sagat. Oh yeah, one thing I also forgot to mention is the meaty standing medium punch on certain characters that it wouldn't work for normally to get the second hit of the Tiger Knee. If you do it meaty on Wake Up, and combo into it, that will work. So you can get both hits if it's timed meaty. That's pretty much it, guys. Wrapped up everything I can remember that I wanted to say. So take care.